can see 10 degrees. Look at the number of slugs we have here. That's the breakfast, you know. Here, on the top of my finger. It's a very small fish, right? See, it's on the surface, and it's just waiting to get some mosquito larvae on the water. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You see the difference, the process? I cut the stones to look a bit better. I still have some work, but will be done soon now. Let's release the bird. I need to work on this coop to fix it. For now I have other things to do. Let's see how many eggs do we have today. Oh, nice. I just trimmed the lemon tree. That's half of it. And here I have another type of lime tree, I guess. But it was not going well, so I trimmed also some branches. You see the branches that are here. I trimmed them the way in the inside of this tree, but that was too compact, so the light was not able to go through. So now I think it's a bit lighter, I hope so. And you can see a lot of flowers coming. And we have some fruits already, you see. What I don't like about this tree, and that's a problem we have all around, is it's contaminated, you know, by the wasp, you see. So I try to trim as much of it as possible, which we can see here. You see? Try to trim that, and then normally you need to burn this as soon as possible. We are still in winter, so anyway, the fly or the wasp are not going anywhere at the moment. But I still need to dispose of it quite soon. So let's go to the aquaponics system, to the pond. We can already see the trout down below. We will feed them. They are quite excited. You know what? We're going to do a nitrate check right now because we have a few fish. It's winter, but I don't expect to see many nitrates. And the reason why is because of this aquaponics system and all the aquatic plants I have. They absorb the substance, they absorb the nitrate quite quickly. So let's see. See, I just take one bottle. It's quite simple when you want to do a test. I guess most of you know about this, but some may not be aware. So that's the bottle I use. A little trick, you know, when you want to do your tests. Lot of you, I guess, when you begin, you are like this. You try, because that's the bottle you get with the test, and you see the line. There is a line on it, a white line. That's where you want the water to stop. So a lot of people, they do this and they stop, but it's very tricky to stop on the line. Very often you're gonna stop above or below, and therefore it's gonna take you ages to be on the line. You will have to refill the bottle and everything. There is another trick. You can just shake the bottle, and by shaking it you remove some drops of water. See? Hop, hop. And now I am on the line. You see? See how it works? It's quite simple. Now let's add the reactive inside. So what we want to check now is the nitrate. So nitrate is too reactive, so I have to shake the bottle. Sorry, I will try to not shake the camera too much while I do that. Okay, bottle number 1 at 10 drops. It's a quite simple task. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I hope I didn't make a mistake because I was looking at the camera in the same time. So I hope I counted the number of drops well. I think I did, but you will tell me if I made a mistake. Okay, I will now close this little bottle. I have to shake it again, so I will try to hold the camera to avoid the problem. Okay, I will leave it on the side for a few minutes to react, and then I will add the reactive number 2. I wanted to tell you, so I am doing a test, water test, right? And of course, what I just did wrong is that you normally don't feed the fish before you do your water test, right? Because when I feed the fish, I add more nitrogen, and basically the fish are moving a lot to make some mess in the water. So it's not very representative when you feed the fish before. But here I didn't feed them that much. So that's fine. It's gonna be completely fine. It's not a big issue. So what do you think? Do you reckon we're gonna see some nitrate? I'm sure some of you at home, if you have an aquaponics system with a lot of fish, and you have a classic aquaponics system, you must probably see some nitrates build up very quickly. But here we are in a holistic aquaponics system, and that's very different. With all the plants that I have, with all the grow beds and all the plants in the surrounding and the plants on the floats, it's a totally different story. And it makes it much more sustainable, because here I don't need to renew the water at all. I may sometimes use some of the aquaponics water for different things, to water my plants inside, but there is no real consumption. Oh, we can see a mosquito fish here. Wait a second, I will try to film it for you. It's quite difficult to see, so can't promise. Oh, I think you see it here. Yeah? There. On the top of my finger. It's a very small fish, right? See, it's on the surface, and it's just waiting to get some mosquito larvae on the water. We are in winter, so there are probably not a lot. But you can see it swimming, and that's a female. The females are bigger and they are fatter. So a female like this, in the good period when they breed, she can breed 20 to 50 babies per month, and it goes very quickly then. So of course the trout, they eat some of those fish. They hunt the mosquito fish, we call it gambusia. But that's fine because the population tries to maintain itself. There are plenty of spaces in this ecosystem for the fish to hide. So I was saying, this gambusia, this mosquito fish, I'm very happy to have it because it kind of closes the loop. Not completely close the loop, of course, but you understand, we got some mosquitoes that are spawning in this pond. So instead of leaving mosquito breeding in the pond and then having mosquitoes all around the pond, it wouldn't be cool, right? So it's good to have some little fish. It can be goldfish, it can be the mosquito fish. those little fish, they will eat the mosquito larvae, and they will breed in the pond. And the beauty of this type of aquaponic system, the holistic aquaponic system, is not a regular aquaponic system where where there is nowhere where the fish can hide. This is a real ecosystem where the fish can go between the plants. There are a lot of different habitats where the baby can hide, and therefore they can breed and they can reproduce and they maintain the population. So the trout always catch one or two, sometimes, but they basically manage the population of mosquito fish, so they don't become too many of them. But there is always this dynamic between the quantity of trout and the quantity of mosquito fish. And we transform a problem, which will be the mosquito, into an advantage. Free fish food for the fish and natural fish food, because here we really recreate what the trout are really eating in their natural environment, which is small fish and other type of insect or whatever. Okay, let's have a look at our test now. So we got our bottle here, and I will add now 10 drops of the bottle number 2. Yeah, as you can see. The problem is I will have to shake this bottle again, so I will try to not shake the camera too much. So I will hold the camera. Okay, let's do the let's drop the 10 drops in. Okay, I got my my nitrate bottle. I will leave it here for a few minutes. I will lock this and store it in my little box. And I can continue to feed the trout as well. Today is a cold day. It's been cold for a few days, and the water is, I don't know, it's probably 9 degrees Celsius. Actually, we will check that. So it will be tricky for you, but I will try to get the thermometer, which is inside the pond. So I don't know what type of image you will have for a few seconds, but please bear with me. It's not gonna last for long. I got it. Here it is. What's the temperature today? Oh, it's 10 degrees. I don't know. I'm trying to find a way to see it on the camera, but it doesn't seem to be working. Ah, yes, here you can see 10 degrees. Even less actually, 9 degrees. But I think it's 9 degrees because I removed it from the water, and with the air, you got evaporation of the water that was on the surface, and therefore the temperature decreased straight away, and it's colder in the air. Anyway, we put it back, but yes, I can tell you when I took it away from the water, it was around 10 degrees. So I don't know, I'm talking a lot about trout at the moment. It's because I am working on a very interesting training where I will teach you guys all I know about trout, or at least a lot about what I know about trout. You know, I worked in fish farms and in trout farms mainly, and this is a fish that has an amazing potential. But you see here, I am in Australia, right, in the south of Australia, in Melbourne, and the weather can be cold, very cold in winter. And some people grow silver perch, and I do have silver perch as well, which is a native fish that we have here. Same thing if you grow carp or if you grow any other type of fish. I mean, most of other fish. Those fish, all the native fish, they grow really well in summer. But in winter, they kind of stop growing. They live on their reserves. And they wait for the months to pass. They wait for next summer. The beauty of trout is that they are cold water fish. So even in winter, when the water temperature is low, you see here it's 10 degrees, and they still feed up to 7 degrees. And then below that, they can survive up to 2 degrees. You know, like you can live in the north of France, where I used to live. It was super cold. We used to have minus 25 degrees. The worst we had in France was minus 42 degrees Celsius. So you can have very cold water. The trout always survive. As long as the water is liquid, the trout survive. But the good thing with trout is that in winter, they still grow. While the other fish, they try to survive only, they don't grow in winter. So with the trout, you have an amazing growth. You don't lose growth, you know, you maximize the potential of the aquaponic system. And I see way too many people who have an aquaponic system for years, and they have never harvested any fish. Simply because the fish don't grow fast enough, depending on the species of fish you grow, you know. But if you grow trout, in 6 months, you will have kilos of fish to harvest. So now, let's have a look at this. So we are working with nitrates. So if I take the nitrate and I put them here, and we try to see what I have in the camera in the same time. We can't see the color really well in this camera. I don't like that. Okay, now it's working. So you see here, you have to match this color with the colors on the right. This chart here. So for me, this is close to 5 ppm, 5 to 10 ppm, yeah? And that's the type of concentration I have in this pond. Well, if you are in a classic aquaponic system, your concentration will probably be closer to 80 ppm or even more, because you don't have enough plants very often, so you have to renew your water. There are some techniques to manage the nitrogen, nitrate into the water. But here in this pond, I never renew the water, but you see, the nitrates are very low, which means the plants are consuming a lot from the pond. So I don't lose anything, I recycle everything here. This ecosystem is working like magic. When I think about it, you know, when I started to work on this holistic aquaponics, many people who are inexperienced told me I wouldn't succeed. It would be a big failure, because they didn't understand how aquaponics works, and they don't understand it in detail. And I have to admit, there are some challenges to work with when you have this type of pond, because you have more sun exposition, so you may have algae bloom or those type of things. But the advantages that you can have with this type of aquaponic system is crazy, because instead of wasting the nitrogen, everything is used, all the plants are growing from it. So I can have a jungle, I can have something that look very ornamental, but I can also produce a lot of crop, a lot of plants. You see here Vietnamese mint, here you see also watercress. Here, this is taro actually, you can also eat this plant, watercress. And then all in the grow beds, I got all my food in the grow beds also at the back. I got all my food there. So they are very productive ecosystems. And now that I proved that we can do it, you know, that we can have something that is in the same time ornamental, but also that is way more efficient than a classic aquaponic system. I don't see any reason why people don't have this type of system. I know some people who have an aquaponic system at home, and it's not very efficient, and I know some other people who have a pond at home, and they don't produce anything from the pond, and they have some trouble to manage it because you have to maintain a pond, you know. While here, the maintenance on an aquaponic system that is like mine, which is a holistic aquaponics, is the lowest you can imagine. You don't have maintenance on the pond by itself, and you produce a lot of food, a lot of fish, and a lot of plants. In an ornamental pond, you don't produce fish. You can't harvest any fish. You can't eat any fish. Unless you have a very big filtration, that would be very expensive to run. While here, the costs of running such an aquaponic system is 45 watts for the water pump. So that's extremely low. So yeah, you see that's the magic of this system. Let's have a look at the slugs. Oh my god, the slug trap, you see? I don't know if you can see from here. There, look at the number of slugs we have here. You see how well my traps work? Guys, you have to imagine this is all slugs, right? So I don't know how many there are, but maybe there are 20 or even more in this film. And what we have to think about is that if I don't catch the slugs here, and you know they die by eating some yeast, which they love, Vegemite, yeah? If I don't catch the slugs, they will eat all my crop. So you have to do this if you have an aquaponic system, guys. Because in aquaponics, we have a media and the slugs can really hide in between. So we need to take action and to do something about it. Let's have a look at this one here. What's happening here? Do we have slugs? Pop, 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 pop. There are so many slugs that they started to rot, you see. So, same. You see, this doesn't take any time, right? It's quite fun, and I use it as a fish food, as a food for my chicken. I could use it also for my trout, probably. Well, I'm not too sure. I don't want to add too much of this because, you know, there is a lot of protein fermented with bacteria that are maybe not the one we want. So I prefer to give it to the chicken. They are very happy with this. And as you know, it doesn't cost at all. I just need a bit of Vegemite and I renew the trap. So it's a very easy way to have good proteins for the chicken. Let's have a look how they like it. You see how they turn crazy about it. They really, really, really love it. Let's go for this one. This one is a bit more fermented. It's a bit disgusting, to be honest. Oh, they just love it. They don't think about it. They go straight for it. Do you see how, guys, it's just an example how you take a problem that you have in the aquaponic system, which is basically, the problem is you have some predators and you transform it into an advantage because I feed my chicken. So technically what I am doing, transforming the slugs, which are a big problem for the aquaponic system, into eggs that I will eat. So I'm transforming the eggs, the slugs into food for myself. I hope it makes sense to you. I will now renew the slug trap. So that's what I do now. You see I take some water here. And I will add some Vegemite inside. What about the chicken? I leave them as they are. They are good. They have some fish food, some food here, some grains. There is some water there. So they are fine. I have some leftovers from work. I'm working on some coated fish at work, so let me give them. Here they are. I give them a bit of this, but you know, I'm not a fan of this type of food. Crumb fish, you know, it's not healthy for human. I don't think it is. And even the chicken, you know, they like it, but they prefer the slugs 1,000 times. Have you seen how they were eating the slugs? But now they don't eat this that much, right? They pick a bit on it, but they are not crazy about it. One of them still seems to like it. And then there you see you have the grains, you have the wheat or whatever. They eat some, but you see when you give them some slugs, they go straight for it because they like natural things. For them, it's like candy. So what I do, I put the stick inside. I mean, you have probably, if you follow my videos, you have probably seen this before a few times already. But honestly, guys, this little trick here is a reason, can be the difference why some people don't get anything from the aquaponics system, no crop, because they give everything to the slugs. The slugs can be a real issue in aquaponics. And the reason why is because they hide in between the media. You know the media that we have in the aquaponics grow bed? Depending on the size of media you have, the slugs can hide in between because there are some space in between the rocks. And it's technically impossible to remove the slugs by hand because there are so many places for them to hide. They can breed and you got babies everywhere. So this trap that I am doing here is the most effective way, the most efficient way to manage the slugs, to manage the slug problem. And you can see if you have chicken, and I really recommend you to do it, you can transform this problem into a real solution, into an advantage, not a solution, an advantage. What I'm doing is a solution, but the advantage is that then I will use the dead slugs to feed the chicken. And you know, when you feed the chicken, you will think, oh, it's not going to make a difference. It's just few slugs. It's not a big quantity, and that's true. You know, in terms of biomass, it's few dozens of grams of slugs. If I can have 100 grams per month, you know, that would probably be a lot. But if you think about the quality, because now it's good proteins that are natural and everything, while the chicken, that's what they are always looking for. You know, they always look for worms, for things like this. So I'm sure maybe it's not big in terms of quantity of food, but in terms of quality for them, it makes a massive difference. It makes a massive difference simply because that's like giving them supplements, you know. You can have chicken and give them only grains, you know, only cereals. But really, they like diversity. They like eating other things. In nature, there is nothing they like more than worms and things like this. So if you give them slugs that are alive, or that are dead, but that are what we call live food or real food, you know, you improve their diet, and therefore you have more chances of them being healthy and producing healthy eggs as well. So for me, you know, producing eggs is very important, but having healthy animals and having them happy, if we can say, you know, they live in good conditions, and it's not, I mean, for me, the ethical part is very important, you know. I like to have ecosystems where all the animals are in good condition. Hop. You see, I just want to show you. You see here, you see this little baby here, that's silverbit. I got another one there. If I don't have this slug trap, those little, if we can call them seedlings, they would disappear in no time. Yeah? I think it makes sense, right? The slugs, they like tender sprouts, so they would go and they will eat it straight away. Here, you see, this is very interesting as well. This was last year. I had some. What was this? That was probably from some type of onions or whatever. I left the seeds here, and you can see all the babies that are growing here. They are all growing from seeds, so it's quite hard to see. Here, all the green that you see, they are all growing from the seeds that I left on the grow bed. It's not that I didn't want to clean the grow bed, but I wanted to leave the opportunity for the seeds to grow back. And that's exactly what's happening now. All this area is going to grow back. I can't remember if it's garlic or onion. I think it's onion. Or actually, it may be leek, actually. You see, the same as this one. Because the leeks, they go in flower after a while. And that's probably what it is. You know, my memory is terrible, so I can't really remember everything. But I can't remember much, to be honest, of what I planted last year. Okay, so that's a good film done. You see the cascade, how cool it is. I was showing you last time in the video. You see, I was saying we had a river of spider plants near the real river. Now you can really see it. Isn't it really nice? I personally really like this type of environment. You see here, we got the healthy leaves on the top, and the old ones, it's been a while I didn't collect, and now they are all crappy, so I need to remove all this and throw it away. Sometimes if you leave it, it's a good area for the predators to hide, so you will have spiders and things like this hiding in, and some people don't like spiders, I can understand that, but in the same time they regulate the quantity of pests that we can have in the pond and in the system. But that's also a good area for the slugs, and not really for the slugs, but for the aphids to grow or animals like that. So if you can keep it clean, it's maybe a good thing. Because anyway, the predators, there are a lot of other area as well to live. You can always take some waste from one system and use it as an advantage for another one. So now I'm just collecting a bit of green for my breakfast. I'm picking a few leaves. I will actually get the secator, or I don't know how you call it in English, but the kind of scissors to trim or to harvest a bit of watercress to put in the mix. And I need to regulate this one. I need to remove it ultimately. So Vietnamese mint to go in the mix and a bit of watercress. And this will do. I don't need to harvest too much. Just a bit to benefit from the quality of this crop, and also to enjoy the peppery flavor of the watercress. So that's the breakfast, you know. This with an egg, and I mix it with a banana, as you know, and it's super healthy. So stay tuned, and you can join the Aquaponics Revolution movement. If you want more information about aquaponics, about those type of ecosystem, if you want to do something like this at home, and very soon I will give some information about trout. As I said, I'm working on a very nice training. So if you want to be informed of all those things that are happening, well, just join the Aquaponics Revolution movement. You will find a link in the description of this video, and there, once you join the movement, you will receive some specific aquaponics information that I only offer and share with people who are in the aquaponics revolution movement. So take care, and I see you in the next video. I will have a good breakfast and I hope you have a good day. Bye!